You know, it's always great when Microsoft does the updates and gives us things that we actually need or that we actually want. This is one that I think is going to be a little bit more controversial. You know, I think it's probably a good thing because you're not going to be able to get the things that you probably really want from this. This is probably just more of something that actually ends up working out for you anyway. Like for me anyway, it's just one of those things where Microsoft isn't always on the ball with, 100% of things that we're asking for. But, since we have to kind of accept some of the things that they're going to give us anyway, I think it's kind of smart that they're at least making it a little bit more respectable for us gamers to get these things. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. And, again, you guys might agree, you might disagree. I think it really, really kind of depends on what you're looking for as a fan. So we'll wait and see what happens there. There's definitely a lot of good things going on in gaming right now. Is that going to mean that everything is always going to be great in gaming? Listen, I don't know. I think this generation has been a bit of a mixed bag, up and down, that kind of thing. But I'm always kind of just try to be as optimistic as possible with this stuff. But let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you guys for checking this out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. It helps out the channel. It means a lot to me personally. I do daily gaming content, so if you're looking for someone that gives, their opinion on the daily news stories in gaming, look no further. I try to be fun yet informative. That's kind of my key. So yeah, thanks for watching. Anyway, what's kind of going on right now is this is something that people can opt in and out of, but you get them either way, right? Microsoft has begun rolling out a new personalized advertising system for Xbox users, offering a player choice between customized ads or more general promotions. The update, which is gradually reaching consoles worldwide, reflects the company's attempt to refine how players discover new games and downloadable content, while also giving users control over how their data is used in general. When presented with the option, users can either select yes, I'm in, or allowed to tailored ads, or no thanks, to continue receiving targeted advertising, opening the menus and ads which would be based on your gaming habits. So that could be something that would be kind of cool if you're a gamer. If anybody uses Facebook or anything, how targeted ads kind of work a little bit with that. You say something, next thing you know, it comes up there. But I'm assuming it would be better to have, just in my opinion, like gaming-related ads for stuff that you want, stuff that you use, rather than just nonsense or whatever that case may be. So I think that would be really, really cool to kind of see as fans or whatever. And plus you get to be able to click into it or whatever, including titles that you would maybe buy or play and related services that they engage with. Choosing not to participate will still result in ads appearing, so that's the kind of downside there, though they may be less relevant to individual preferences. So according to Microsoft, the system does not involve any additional data collection. Instead, it relies solely on information already generated through the normal Xbox usage. Your trust in is our top priority, according to Microsoft. I guess that really depends on each of us, how gullible we are. I don't really know if any of these companies are what I would consider trustworthy, but interesting nonetheless that they're kind of saying that, stressing that the aim is to improve discovery rather than compromise privacy. By leveraging existing gaming data, Xbox hopes to surface ads that feel more useful, such as recommendations for expansions for related content. The move has already sparked debate among the community. Some see the feature as a practical way to discover games more aligned with their taste, while others remain cautious about the presence of ads in a played, on a played platform. So again, that's like, we are paying for it. Most of us are paying for different things, so why should we see ads? But it's like, nowadays I think that's all the rage. Like, people are trying to get what they can. Like back in the day, you watch TV or whatever, and then the ads that would be on would pay for like a lot of that stuff. There is none of that anymore, and the reason why is because everybody's streaming. Oh, guess what? They're not making enough money off of that, so they implement ads even in the streaming that we're seeing. So it's kind of crazy. Either way, the update marks a shift in how Microsoft approaches advertising within its console ecosystem. So kind of keep that in mind or whatever. I would rather have targeted things or whatever. Like right now on the dashboard, I would say it's very interesting because there would be like deals for you or whatever, and it's games that I'm interested in, and they, there's always a handful that are like super cheap or whatever. So I always think that that's really cool, the way that they kind of do that, and the different improvements and things like that that are things that we're looking for as fans. So again, I think that that's realistically something that all of us are excited about, and kind of expect at this particular point. Hey, we're getting all these kind of different things and updates and things like that, which I think is important. As gamers, it's really just one of those things where we have to be kind of thankful that we're getting kind of what we're getting, or whatever the case may be. And again, it's really up to the individual, the fan, or whoever the case may be, whatever we're kind of getting, or whatever update we're getting, whether or not it's useful or it's something that we kind of want, as just in general as gamers, to see how they kind of work these things out, the things that we're asking for and things like that. So again, I like that it's no longer just a static box. We get updates, we get things that are kind of improvements over the previous things that we used to get. I feel like that's like super important as fans, whatever the case may be. And again, this is super important just as gamers, the way that they kind of handle these things. So hopefully we would see some improvements, and that they would actually like be tailored to things that we're wanting, tailored to things that we kind of see as useful in the future. Like they usually do these kind of updates or whatever, and I think it's kind of cool the way that they kind of change things around or whatever. But I can remember back in the day when they first introduced sort of these ads on the dashboard, like people weren't very happy about it, and I can understand why, because most of us are paying for Game Pass, or back then it was Xbox Live, or whatever the case may be, and now it's like we look at these things and we just kind of I think take a lot of it for granted. So as Xbox owners, I think these companies are always looking for things to kind of improve their own bottom line. And listen, I'm okay with some of this stuff. I don't care about an ad on on the dashboard. That's the least of my worries at this particular point in my life. I would say that one of the things that I would kind of speak out against would be if they started trying to put like ads in the middle of games or whatever. And like, listen, I get it. Like some people think, oh well, people are really kind of accustomed to this because they do this on phone gaming. This is I mean, there's lots of reasons why I don't game on the phone, but to be honest with you, I think probably one of the biggest reasons, besides from not being the type of games I like, is that there's just ads every 2 seconds on these things, and that's not really something that I want to kind of get into. I'd rather buy a game that doesn't have any kind of ads in it or anything like that, and just be able to kind of just enjoy myself with these things. Hopefully you guys kind of feel the same way. So like that would be the point where I would push back. I'm not sure if this is something to the point where Microsoft will eventually get to that. They've kind of hinted at that numerous times before, and I would 100% be against that. Whereas this is something that I can kind of look at and just say, hey, I can understand this. They're trying to target and get gamers excited about Xbox, and tailor things to them so that they can find it and help better. I think overall would be to help better find things that they're looking for. It's like, oh, I have this game. Oh well, guess what? This DLC is half off now. Like I think that could be a very interesting type situation to kind of get into. You know what I mean? So again, nice to see updates like this. That's kind of, I guess, trying to help people in general. And again, like that's something that I think each of us is going to have to decide whether it's a something that they really want or not. So like I said, I think it comes down to each of us and what we want to see as gamers. What do you guys think about stuff like this though? Like, are you guys excited by this type of news, or is that not exciting to you? Is that something that you just absolutely don't care about? I would just be kind of curious about that, because again, Microsoft does some of these things and they're out of left field or whatever the case may be, and that's something that we'll have to kind of wait and see if that's something that actually does come to fruition or whatever. So good on Microsoft. I think this is cool. Help people discover stuff if they keep it that way. And now if it starts throwing like weird ads at people, then I think that's going to be a problem for everybody. And but I hope that that's not the case, and I hope that's something that they manage to kind of keep everybody's kind of stuff private or whatever. I think like companies like to push boundaries with stuff. You know what I mean? I can remember when like Connect and stuff, and it's like, oh, we're gonna randomly start collecting stuff you talk about even when you're not using us. You know what I mean? Like that stuff is definitely something that should never be thought of or used or implemented or whatever, but it's like hard to tell where the line is with a company like Microsoft, who really goes in above and beyond themselves a lot of times to go out of their way to do like schemy things or slimy things, you know. So regardless of that, let me know what you guys think.